Venom 3. This is a movie that is officially happening. It's been confirmed by Sony with, honestly, a fairly successful, at least for this type of movie, box office run for Venom Let There Be Carnage. Of course, Sony announced they were going to be doing a third movie with Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, aka Venom, and that's pretty cool. Now, we haven't heard much about this film yet, like anything pertaining to a release date or anything along those lines, but we do know that's happening, and there have been some rumors about, like, maybe Spider-Man popping up in here. Now, today we do have some brand new details about Venom 3 and Sony's plans for this film, which is actually coming out as from 4chan, which, of course, when it comes to 4chan, it's kind of a gamble as to whether you can take this as reliable or not, because it's anonymous. Anybody can post on there, which could either mean somebody's just making stuff up, or it could be an actual leaker is giving us information about the film on this website app. I don't even know what it is, but anyway, of course, take this with a grain of salt. Somebody did a post the other day basically leaking us a bunch of information about all of the upcoming Sony universe of Marvel characters films. So, like Kraven the Hunter, Spider-Woman, Madam Web, all those movies. I did a video yesterday talking about the Madam Web leaks and some really interesting stuff going on there. But today, we're going to be talking about Venom 3 and what this 4chan post says about this movie. Now, first of all, the post does officially confirm that Andy Serkis will be returning to direct Venom 3, which is pretty cool because I don't remember who directed the first Venom movie, but of course Andy Serkis, he took over with Venom Let There Be Carnage, and I honestly think he did a great job. I'm still not a huge fan of the whole comedy aspect of this version of the character, but I at least enjoyed Venom Let There Be Carnage, honestly, way more than the first Venom movie. I mean, I still like the first Venom movie a lot more than most people do, but I'm glad to see that Andy Serkis is returning. Overall, just a great guy, great director and great actor as well. We just saw him in The Batman. Now, also, the post continues to go on to say, of course, Tom Hardy is returning as Venom. We have Michelle Williams returning as well, and also Stephen Graham as Patrick Mulligan. Now, Patrick Mulligan, of course, was in Venom Let There Be Carnage, and there was kind of a cliffhanger ending for that character, which hinted at him becoming Toxin. Now, Toxin in the comics is actually another symbiote, kind of similar looking to Carnage, just whereas Carnage is kind of like a mixture of like red with like black veins. Toxin is pretty much completely red, and Toxin is actually a good guy. He's at least a vigilante, and just like in the comics, Patrick Mulligan, he was a detective, he was a cop, and then he was infected by the symbiote and became a hero, just like Venom did. So this post goes on to say that we will be seeing this same storyline played out in Venom 3, where Patrick Mulligan will become Toxin, but will be a rival vigilante rather than the main villain fighting against Tom Hardy's Venom. Now, as for the actual villain, apparently the plot features Venom and Toxin being hunted by the government and having to join forces to fight the Xenophage, a genetically engineered symbiote killer that goes rogue. Now, this is an interesting one, a character that you've probably never heard of, because I know I never heard of it before, and actually, when I was doing research to find out more about this character, there's like barely anything. So this is a really obscure character, and basically what I could find on Xenophage is it's basically this parasite creature who seems like in the movie is going to be genetically engineered by the government, who feeds off of symbiotes. It's kind of like a parasite, and it kind of has the same effect of an anti-venom. So I definitely would have preferred to see anti-venom as kind of the villain of this movie. I think that would have been a lot cooler, especially, it's like the perfect setup right there. The government wants to send out a symbiote hunter, so they make their own genetically manufactured symbiote, send out basically a white Venom, aka anti-venom, and that would have been really cool. I think that would have been really awesome. But Xenophage is really interesting as well, because there's a connection that there might possibly be here. And again, I don't know for sure because I couldn't find much information on this character, but this character is called Xenophage. Now, there's another character in the comics called Phage, another symbiote, who is yellow, just like Xenophage is apparently as well. Now, the base word of Xeno means foreign or other. So in the plot leak here where it says that Xenophage kind of goes rogue, it wouldn't at all surprise me if he goes from being this thing, or possibly even this thing, and then transforming into the other thing that Venom and Toxin will end up fighting by the end of the movie. That wouldn't at all surprise me, and I think would be pretty cool, because, you know, we had, in the first movie, Venom was fighting Riot, who was basically a grayish silver symbiote. And then in Venom 2, we had Venom fighting Carnage, who was a red symbiote. So now we'll have Venom teaming up with Toxin, another red symbiote, fighting a yellow symbiote. So I think that'll be visually actually pretty cool to watch play out. Now, one thing I am wondering about here, because that's where the details end off for this 4chan post, where's Spider-Man? Because Tom Hardy was kind of heavily teasing after the release of Venom Let There Be Carnage that, you know, we want to do Spider-Man in Venom 3. But he's nowhere to be seen in these details. So, there's been a lot of theories that's been going around, obviously, since after No Way Home. Venom went to the MCU and then came back to his universe and left behind a little bit of symbiote there. So we know we're getting the Venom storyline with Tom Holland's Peter Parker, just not with Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. So that maybe once he goes back to his original universe, that universe is the same universe as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And then we could be seeing him fight Tom Hardy's Venom. And maybe they're saving that for another movie, possibly. If they finally do The Amazing Spider-Man 3, that's a storyline I would love to see play out. But it is interesting that there's no mention of Spider-Man in this movie. Maybe it'll be just like a post-credit scene to set up something. Either way, hopefully we see at least a version of Spider-Man in Venom 3. But for now, guys, like I said, that is all the details here. Some really interesting stuff. Seeing that Patrick Mulligan is finally going to be Toxin, and that we have our main villain of the Xenophage, and or possibly Phage. So that's something I'm really excited to see. But guys, you can let me know your own thoughts on this in the comments below. What do you think about these rumors of details for Venom 3, and what do you want to see from this film? So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.